We are now going to see the installation of notch cutter. Notch cutter is used for making notch in the ISOD CharP sample before checking it on ISOD machine. Now these leveling legs are separately packed. You can see there are 4 leveling legs, and once you unpack the box, you fix up all these leveling legs. Okay. After that, the first action what you do is you fix the depth micrometer. This depth micrometer comes with the equipment which you are going to fix it over here. You just gently push it inside, moving the block by hand. Just push it inside, and then there is a Allen screw given over here that you have to tighten. Now you can see there is a step here. So this step should go and touch with the face, this face. That much you have to put it inside. I will show in the video further. Okay. So as you can see, we just moved it inside up to the guide. The face of this micrometer has touched with this face. Okay, and then you can lock the Allen screw and make it completely tight. You don't need to remove it again once it is fixed. So this is how first step we complete by locking the depth micrometer to the body. Now for checking, I am going to take ASTM sample. Okay. Now this is a ASTM sample of 63.5 mm length and 12.7 mm is the exact width of this sample. The thickness is 3.2 mm. So it is very easy to check the sample. I will show you. On the top you can see ASTM marking is there. When you want to check ISO sample, you should remove this plate, opening this knob, and invert the plate. So the bottom you will see ISO written. That is just to ensure that this slot is exactly in line to the requirement. For example, when ASTM is written on the top, this slot is made for 12.7 mm slot, 12.7 mm deep. If we reverse it, it will automatically become 10 mm as per ISO. So anyway, it is very easy to do the trial. Just open this knob, and there is a stopper given here. You can see this stopper. We will show you how it works. Right now we have fixed it to ensure that 63.5 mm sample, when you insert inside, it will go and touch exactly at the dead end, so that the notch tool will be exactly at the center, that is around 32 mm, and then you tighten the knob. You make it tight, just putting it inside, so that you can see the sample I have fixed inside, and the tool, the cutter tool, is exactly at the center. So basically the one which I showed you here is nothing but a stopper made such that this 63.5 mm sample, when it goes to the end, it will exactly stop at a point where notching will be at the center 32 mm of the sample. Now further, by hand you move the block down. Okay, and what we are going to do now, you can see there is a gap between the sample and the cutting tool. This gap you have to compensate to 0 by rotating the micrometer. Rotate the micrometer in clockwise direction so that this sample will start coming forward, and at one point it will touch the tool. I am going to try and zoom it to show you. Okay, now you can see the sample has touched the tool and ready for notching. Now you should be aware, as per ASTM D256, the remaining width of the sample after notch should be 10.16 mm. So if the sample is 12.7 exact, then you make a notch of 2.54 to ensure remaining width is 10.16. Otherwise you have to increase the notch according to the width of your sample, increase or decrease the notch. Now after this has touched, I'll try to take a top view. Okay, now once you see it is touching, yeah, the sample is touching the tool, you just note down the reading of 0 at this point. So once the sample has touched the tool, you just note down the reading over here. Now we can see the value 5 is coinciding with the straight line. Okay, so once you have noted this value and you know that you have to make a notch of 2.54, firstly you start the machine. So you can see the block will start going up and down, and now I will start rotating. Since I have to make a notch of 2.54, so be careful. I will explain you here. We start rotating now. So when I go from 5 to 5, this one rotation is 0.5 mm. So I go the second rotation, 1 mm, third rotation, 1.5 mm, fourth rotation, 2 mm, fifth rotation, 2.5 mm. Since I want to go 2.54, so 5.1, 5.2, 5.3 and 5.4. So 4 sticks ahead of 5. So this is how we make a notch of 2.54, especially when the sample width was 12.7, because one point user should always remember that result is not dependent on how much notch you make. Result is dependent on the remaining width of the sample, and it should always be 10.16 mm. So once the notching is completed, simply reverse rotate it and bring it back to the original position, 0, and your block has also come back. So you can put it off and simply open your knob to remove the sample. You can see the notch is made exactly at the center of the sample. See, I'll zoom it up to show you here. I'll keep it on a black surface. Okay, and you can see this notch, a beautiful notch with 45-degree angle and 0.25 mm tip radius is been done exactly at the center. Now we will see that if you want to do a ISO sample, the procedure is same, but what we are going to do, we'll remove this knob. Now ISO width of the sample is 10 mm. Therefore, this deep slot, there will be a difference. This is for 12.7 mm, and the upper one, when we are going to reverse it, it will be automatically for 10 mm. So I'll remove this knob and I'm going to reverse the plate, that's all. It's a very simple process. Okay, so when I remove it, I reverse the plate, and this reverse plate, when I fix it up, this will become ISO. You can see ISO slot on the top plate. You see it is going to stop the sample at 10 mm to ensure that it will rightly be fixed. And on the plate, you see automatically on the plate there is a stopper. That stopper will guide the 80 mm sample such that the notch will be exactly at the center. This particular guide pin which we have given you, this you are going to remove only once when you want to do a Charpy of 127 mm. Simply remove this and invert it. When you will invert it, the length will increase and the stopper will come outside here. That's all. So this is how we are going to install the notch cutter. Thank you so much.